Thomas requested for a C63 Sealander Elite. Christopher Ward listened, and I couldn't be happier to get this one in for review. This video is brought to you by Christopher Ward. The C63 Sealander Elite is a very spec-heavy offering from Christopher Ward. This is a very compact watch with a 40mm diameter, 47mm lug-to-lug distance, and a strap-friendly 20mm lug width. Continuing the compact form is the 10.7mm thickness, including that beveled crystal. The crown sits flush to the case and is not threaded, but it still manages to achieve a 150-meter water resistance. Inside is a Sellita SW200 caliber that beats at 4 Hz, has a 38-hour power reserve, and is COSC certified with 4 to 6 seconds of variations per day. Rounding the spec sheet is the durable sapphire crystal both on front and back of the watch, and all of this is housed in a full Grade 2 titanium case and bracelet. Initial impressions suggest that the Sealander Elite is lighter than your typical metal watch, but it doesn't seem to have that feathery light titanium weight. It actually feels just a tad lighter than stainless steel. I don't know how CW did it, but there is a heft that I feel on my hand. It certainly is streamlined for many reasons. On the wrist, it's one of the better wearing fielders out there because of the generous curving lugs and obviously that visually non-existent crown. The thickness also helps provide a sense of comfort, knowing there are less instances that you'll knock this around. So how about that recessed crown? With a light press, the crown pops out ready for you to set the time. Winding the crown feels rather unusual because of that narrow grip surface. Aside from that, you can definitely identify the Sellita clicks and turns. This feature is a definite highlight of the Sealander Elite that's also found on the Omega Aquaterra Ultralight, which you can also buy if you have $44,000 of spare change. After setting the time, you can simply push the crown back in, and you have a very clean and symmetrical looking case. This is a non-threaded crown, so you need to keep it out of sight and water sealed. The bracelet also packs some great mechanical details such as the clasp micro adjustments, perfect for on-the-fly wrist sizing, and twin lever bracelet release end links, making it easy to swap bracelets or bands. Christopher Ward continues to push its design where its followers could find great value. Throughout the development stages of the watch design, the brand settled with its own blend of case identity, dubbed the Light Catcher case. This sculpting direction differs from model to model, but is characterized by its combination of curved lines and carefully placed polished chamfers. We've handled a steel light catcher case before, and I'm pleasantly surprised how it translates on a darker toned metal like titanium. While most of the watch almost looks like matte finish, the polished bevels cast great deep shadows and reflects light as expected. Achieving this kind of luster on titanium is noteworthy, uncommon even. I love the light catcher case, so much so that it disappointed me when it's not present on the bracelet. Well, it's not the light catcher bracelet after all, isn't it? Underneath the case is your typical affair with the display caseback and its usual watch markings. Through the glass, the caliber's decorated surfaces dazzles and delights with any passing gleam. The dial side shares the same light exhibition but on a different manner. The hands have this flat brush treatment that creates a three-facet combo with its polished edges. This gives a distinct shimmer and definition to the hands, no matter what angle you look at it. This is complemented by a textured dial that also attracts light nicely. These are just a few of the great design decisions on the Sealander Elite. Applied indexes, sprinkles of orange highlights, and the bold signature trident, it's a well-layered and textured dial. They're also functional, lest we forget about that gorgeous X1 Super Luminova. Christopher Ward did much of the work to ensure you'd be able to enjoy this watch in various situations. Now let's do our part and drop it in those scenarios. On an all-black sailcloth strap by Artem, it gives a simple yet capable feel for a tool watch. The eyes now focus on what matters the most, the dial, while enjoying the solid benefits of titanium. Pair this up with your favorite knife and you're ready to conquer the great outdoors. Adding some stitching on that band spices up the watch with a bit of character. In this setup, both the case and watch strap have their fair share of the spotlight. Now let's use this same idea but on a lighter strap with quite a bit of taper. Strap tapering should not be ignored as this contributes to the wearability of the piece. With this smaller buckle and strap end, there is more room for your wrist to operate. This also gives a pleasing, natural line of progression between the case and band. This particular example also has a suede texture that further gives a vintage look to the Sealander. Now let's swap this out for one of Artem's new premium fabric straps that also happens to have a matching orange pinstripe. Now this is a match made in Microbrand heaven. It adds a little thickness to the watch and the streamlined proportions sort of gets diluted in a way, but it looks and feels so good to wear even on this 6¼ inch wrist. Back to its titanium band, the Sealander Elite proves itself ready to tackle the toughest and harshest environments. Although we don't have those harsh locations, we do have some beautifully challenging places we can bring this thing along to. Priced at $1,695, the C63 Sealander Elite is not your average price Microbrand nor full titanium offering. It is a touch more costly, but it more than makes it up for its not so average features. A carefully designed titanium instrument that catches light expertly. Elite is a very appropriate moniker for this upscale fielder. It's a solid selection for anyone looking for a full titanium automatic watch or anything Christopher Ward.